Halifirikundo hisefetin shun God. In Sari Marakaroso Farahindun in Si Olokuntin God. In Shitumoma in Akatikandari Unafarkantisku in Tadaikuno God. I say unto you, the world was never the way God gave it. Man went never the way God had given. And the children of God did not keep way with the God that sent them. And so the children of God found themselves in a world that they did not know, in a world in which they could never find a way to be great again. For wherever the world went, it did not keep faith with God. And man removed the designs of God in the world and introduced his own designs upon the world. And wherever man changed the designs of God in the world, man changed himself in the world. There was no one who understood how this earth was created, and neither did anyone come to know how it was given to work in the designs of God. And every way that man came here and left, he was no wiser than when he came in, because he did not know that the grand designs of God on the earth were all the designs that were given for man to know. Man did not know that it is because of earth that he knows the things he knows and he's able to do the things he does. For when he did not know the nature of earth, he was never able to understand the way in which the earth works. And in every part of this world, I showed man that earth gives him everything that he knows and everything that he wants and everything that he needs, because earth carries within it everything that everyone ever needs. And so when man could not have known that he was always at the mercy of earth, it is because he had no consciousness of the way in which earth's nature constitutes his own nature. Whenever I have given unto you to preach and to teach and to give to everyone the sacred and divine knowledge that you imparted to everyone, I have given you to let man see and know that everywhere that he changed the designs of God and imposed his own designs, he was always in the dark as to how he was affected by what he had done. In all of the world, man is always at the mercy of earth. And it is earth that shows man that everything that he has given to earth that was not given from earth to man, that the earth returned it back to man. And so man is always never realizing that he is as a consequence of what he produced from himself. For the earth shows man that everywhere that he exists, earth exists. And wherever he lives, earth consumes him. And there was never a time when man stood to contemplate his relationship with earth. For everyone believed that they received from different sources, and in every way that man could not have known that at this lowest vibrational level at which he exists, he couldn't receive anything other than what earth gives to him. There were many that went believing that the sun gave them this, and the stars give them this, and everything above them gave them this. And God could have told them, you were not worthy to receive anything that is of the higher ways of a higher God. And so when the sun shines, it gives to earth that which earth then gives to man. For man could not receive from a higher source because he was always stranded in a lower valley. And so everywhere that man walked on earth, he was always never knowing that he is the way earth gives him to be. And because he has no way of knowing that, he was always misled by the things that he had been given to know. And when the children of God did not walk in the faith of God, the children lost the powers that we had given unto them. And in losing the powers, the children were victims of demons and devils. And so they never know why it is that they were never able to regain the position that they had when they came here as gods and goddesses, and then ruled on earth as kings and queens. Because everything that made them great was everything that migrated away from them. For they received their gifts from the sun, and the sun took back its gifts from the children. And that is the reason why the children of God walk in a world in which they suffered for a very long time, never knowing why it is that they had to suffer, never knowing why it is that they also died. Everywhere on earth, man is given to see that the solutions to the problems he seeks always is given from earth. Every illness that man has, every impediment man has, every way of seeking to know things that man pursues is always given from earth to man. And none of these things were ever known to man. And when my children connected with the earth, the children were taught to walk on earth in the way in which they came forth from the womb. And in all the lands of the children of God, they walked in exactly the same way that they came out from the womb. When they walked in that way, they were solidly grounded on earth. When anything is solidly grounded, it means that it can only work in the masculine and feminine forces that keeps them going, shining, and being bright. God showed everybody, wherever you would run lights, it has to be grounded in order that it will not go out. And so my children went everywhere on earth, grounded in the earth wherever they went, receiving from the earth the things that they were given to know, and working on earth in the way in which earth worked with them. Every man walks on earth, never recognizing its greatness. For when man did not know the way in which he has a symbiotic and corresponding relationship with earth, he did not know how earth would influence the way he is, that he may influence the world in the way in which earth gives to him. In disregarding the sacred precepts of God, everyone went the perishing way. And in every way, man ended up perishing beneath the ground. He bore testament to everyone that was left that he had gone the way of darkness. God sends forth from the earth everything that is given that will destroy the many lands on earth. For never was man recognizing that wherever he dwells on earth, he is a product of what he has given to earth. And wherever man worked in every way that was despicable unto the Creator gods, he was always going to receive from earth that which is despicable unto himself. Nowhere on earth has man found the way to discover that in every way earth spoke, or it always enjoined man to turn away from the way he was going and to wait for earth to teach him how to love. God says everyone walks this earth, builds things upon the earth, plays upon the earth, does everything upon the earth. And it has never ever occurred to anyone that it is earth that has given unto man the things that he knows and the ways that he must go. And whenever man went in the wayward way, earth in its gratuitous nature giveth man a grace period, that in all the ways that he may wake up to the reality of its existence, that he would come to know the way in which it is his God. Man did not find truth, because truth lies in the way in which man's relationship with earth would have enabled him to discover the way in which earth exists as he exists, and he exists because of earth. God says it is so simple. Where else can you exist? And everywhere man went to the worlds that he destroyed, he came back knowing that he could not live there. There is nothing there. And everywhere that he came back to earth, he did not say to himself, this is the only home that we have. Let us make it a better place for each and every one of us. Let us turn away from the divisions that we have created among ourselves. Let us learn to uplift each other. Let us learn how to do good for each other. And let us learn the way to live in peace and harmony with each other. It never occurred to man that in every way that he would destroy any part of this earth, he would also destroy parts of himself, because he has no way of knowing that every land and earth corresponds to a way of man within man. You see, when God told man to know yourself, man has no understanding of what God means by the things God says. Everything that is inside of you is also outside of you. For nothing in this world exists except it exists the way you do. And so the lesson that earth would have taught man was that he was fashioned and designed the way that earth is fashioned and designed. And so when man would have come to know the way that everything that is of earth is of himself, he would have learned that whatever he would have done to earth, he would also have done to himself. Wherever man went in his destructive ways on earth, he did not know that he would destroy that which is of earth within himself. And that is why God says to you, tell them you are stupid. Because in all your vainglorious ways you went believing that you give yourself knowledge, that you are in control of the things that you see, and that you can do whatsoever you wish to do, and you would always be great upon earth. And every man that saw where every man who said, I am great, this is great, my nation is great, when it shows them that earth makes every great thing fall. There were empires that went the way that everything else went. And every great man ended up beneath the ground, perishing like everyone else. And no one understood that God told them, it is vainglorious to believe that you are great. For there is no greatness in he who has no divinity within himself. And when the children of God did not know that their greatness lay in their humility, they also begin to mimic what they saw others do. And so they place themselves in all manner of positions that says, I am great, I am mighty, never knowing that in all these ways that they had gone, they were always deceived by falsehood, deceit, and lies. For they did not know that when they left the way of the heart and followed the ways of the head, that they would always be influenced by demons and devils on earth. Everywhere that my children went wayward, they became destructive in their ways. And everywhere they became destructive, they created greater divisions among themselves. And my children were no longer able to be at one with each other. For they went everywhere that I told them it was not the way to go. And wherever they are scattered around the world, I have shown them that they were never ever able to cling one to another, because they found themselves estranged from themselves, because they never know who they were. Ye are all children of the one mother and father, creator gods of the Son. These were the things that were said unto the children. Walk thou upright before God. Be perfect in the ways that are given unto you. And God giveth a covenant between God and the children, that whenever they would follow the ways that God had given unto them, God would increase them exceedingly in all the ways of God that were great and mighty and powerful. God looked at all the children of God, and God saw them always walking the way of the tribes of earth. And when the children went the way of the tribes of earth, they lost their connectedness with their sun God. The children were no longer able to relate to the sun God. Neither was the sun God able to connect with the children of God. And so wherever my children remained stranded on earth, my children remained at the mercy of evildoers on earth. In bringing forth my timing, I gave them the promise that they will overcome every evil that was done to them. They will overcome the evil of evildoers among them, and they will return back to the way in which I had given them, in the way in which they walked upright before your mother God and your father God. God giveth all things to be done to the glory of God, in the restoration of paradise back on earth, and the renewal of the Spirit of the Son unto the children of Mother God and Father God. Shin anano oro it is an arakuru. In Shilamarakaro Safrakatisi Ishkamba Orobarakisito Ma Ahi Oshikatiko. Tell them, all these gods you called on, forget them. Because all the names that you were told they were your gods, they're not your gods. They were gods of earth that deceived you. And wherever you called upon them, you brought curses upon yourselves. For I heard the children talk Yahweh and this and that. God said, which God gave you that name? When I told you the name of God could not have been known, how is it that you accept names that was not what God told you? And so you tell my children, all these gods and names of gods and goddesses that you call on, abandon them, for they were not the ways of your God. These are the ways of demons given unto you, deceived you, led you in the falsehoods of the things that you have acquired to yourself, and taught you the way to go further and further away from the divinity of God that was awaiting you. Everywhere God went, God said, hey, this God names is Jehovah, and this God said, who gave you them? Where did they come from? In the beginning was the Word was just God, and the Word remained with God. You lost the Word. You couldn't know it. And if you couldn't know it, it means that no one else could have known it. And so my children went calling God by all the names that was not of your God. And when they didn't know why it is that they always find themselves on the wrong side of the track, it is because you did go on the wrong side of the track, because you listened to those who were already bound for destruction. You followed them in their ways and didn't wait for God to teach you how to know the way to God. And God told every one of you, every single one of you, you can't know God and you can't know the way to God. You have to wait for the Son. For the Son is the way, the truth, and the light. And when you didn't know who God's Son is, and you didn't know how God's Son would be, you could never find a way to know the name of God. And so wherever they went calling on God in the names in which they still call on God's, and say unto them, your forefathers did the same things too. And they handed the same falsehood down to you. And you imbibed of the same falsehoods that they had given to you, because they too walked in complete disobedience to the things of God. That is why they didn't last. That is why they suffered and died. That is why their empires collapsed, because they went the wayward way, and the wayward way took them the way of false gods. Turn away from these false gods and await that which is given for you to know. For the name of your true gods are the ways that God giveth unto the Son to teach you, that you may know the things that you could not have known. God's way is done, God's will is done, and the mission of God in you begins. Go ye out in all the ways that I send you in every part of this earth. Preach and teach the gospel of truth. Awaken my children in a new consciousness of themselves, that they may come to know the way God exists, as you exist, as they exist, as everything else exists. Sholokumado isiminikiti kura. Indoro kura ferkentis kurum kanandis krado. It is done. It is done. It is done.